just to break up the the thrill of normal difficulty, I thought I'd come into Elite just to grab a couple of shrines. I got the one out of the Burial Cave, and then there's the White Mire one here. Elite's going alright. I haven't really looked at my resistances, I've just come in and started killing things. So resistances probably aren't great. I'll have a look in a minute. You tend to get a feel for it as you're running up through. You keep an eye on your health bar. If it's not constantly yo-yoing, then you know you're sort of okay. That's not a recommended play style, it's just I've done this a few times now on various characters. You can see these things do bleed damage. It does tell you what damage is. If you hover over it, it tells you what the damage is if you're quick enough. But most things are just getting taken out in Elite straight away. And I haven't really done a lot about cranking the damage up yet. Of course, once you get over, well, into areas that are well over 50, you start getting a lot of those things drop. I'm going to talk about the second mastery choice in a bit. I've almost finished. I think I have. Right, so the good thing about this, because I changed my mind, I was going to put points, I was going to put 4 points into that, and then probably have to take either Vulture or something I didn't want, like Jackal, to get the red for this. But this thing, because it gave Behemoth, because it gave 2 red and 3 green, it's enough points for both of those, and I've got a whole load of points left, so I'm going to get... Actually, I went the wrong way, so that one there, it's a good poison damage attack. That's got a whole load of acid buffing nodes on it, as has this. It's going to add a few 100% on, so I'll go for those two and then see what's left. So, yeah, I'll update the devotion path that I put in the text file in the first video. Isn't correct now because I changed my mind. But anyway, Arcanist. I know a lot of people will look at this and think, why did you pick that? That's stupid. Because I'm all about, with this, I just want to get the single damage, the single skill damage as high as possible. Now, you could pick Nightblade because it's got a node that buffs poison damage and it puts your cunning up so you get more crits. And you've got a node on Veil of Shadow that lowers resistance, lowers poison, acid poison resistance. Great. You could go Oathkeeper, there's some acid damage on there. You could go Soldier and get yourself tankier. None of that focuses big time on the damage of Blood of Dreeg's Evil Eye. Acid damage and poison damage. Now, the thing about acid damage and poison damage, they scale off spirit. Arcanist, if you look at the mastery bar on Arcanist, you get 5 points of spirit for each point you put into the mastery bar. See, it's on 30, next one it will be 35. There's no other class, well, as far as I know, that's going to give you 5 spirit points per point in the mastery bar. Plus it's got this thing here. When you get that up to the soft cap of 12, you get plus 25% spirit, so you get a quarter more of whatever your flat spirit points are, and you get a 12% offensive ability. So that'll max out. And then what you've got to be aware of with Occultist, possession gives you damage absorption. At the moment that's 16%, I can get that higher. Arcanist has got Mavens on it. If you max that out to the soft cap, it's 20 something, so you get, between the two of them with both those things on, you've got almost 40% damage absorption, and you can probably get it higher with gear. That means that incoming damage, 40% of it or 30 something percent of it, is immediately not damaging you. And then you've got your resistances and other stuff. Plus you've got that. Put 1 point in that and you get 3 seconds of total damage absorption. So for 3 seconds, you're not taking any damage coming in. If you've been hit by a damage over time thing, it doesn't stop that happening. To stop that happening, you use nullification. Nullification will turn off any debuffs or damage over times that you've got on you, and it will also take off positive buffs from enemies, and it's got a radius of effect. So if you're standing near a boss and you hit it, any positive temporary buffs he's got will be taken off. So you've got a whole load of weapons here. Damage weapon, that, I mean, I'm using that and it's really good and stuff's dying. With this, you've got a massive damage buff from Spirit. And the thing is, because it's not specifically buffing acid and poison, any other Spirit buffed damage incorporated in your attack. So if you look at Dreeg's Evil Eye, sorry, I'll look at it on here. It's doing acid, poison, it's doing some vitality, and it's doing some chaos. Those are buffed by Spirit. Bleeding isn't. Bleeding is classed as a physical damage type and it's buffed by Cunning. It's scaled with Cunning. But everything else on there is scaled with Spirit. So that chaos and that vitality, the more Spirit points go into Arcanist, the higher that damage goes. Just made it a little bit simpler. Rather than saying pick a class and buff acid and poison and then try and figure out what the hell else you're going to do with that class. With this, it's really, that's going to buff the Spirit buffed damage types. That is your 3 seconds of not getting hit at all. That's damage absorption, which will add in to the same, it will add to the damage absorption that Possession's doing. There's Arcane Will, stick that on. All your health's got to do is drop below 75%. Now that's really good, because a lot of the time you could almost, force it to happen. You could go and take a bunch of damage, let that happen, and then you know that you've got a huge damage buff for 6 seconds. Then you've got 6 seconds while it's recharged, and then do it again. But by then, most things you're fighting will have been killed. And like I said, put 1 point in that. I was going to take this up to 32. I won't need that. There's nothing there that's really going to help. Casting speed isn't going to help. Skill energy cost, I'm not going to run out of energy chucking Dreeg's Evil Eye once every 4 seconds. I'm really not. I don't need more energy, so I don't need to waste points in that. So it's really just inner focus, Arcane Will, Nullification to take debuffs off you and take buffs off enemies, Mirror 1 point for your 3 seconds of invulnerability, max that out, because that's great. And that's pretty much it. And that'll be it. It will be really simple. I like keeping things simple. And if it's a complete failure and a washout, well, you'll see that happen and you can think, oh, I don't want to do that. And I'm not saying take Arcanist. What I'm saying is I've taken Arcanist. There's other stuff. If you play this in hardcore, don't take Arcanist. Really. Take something else. Take Soldier and get a bunch of defensive stuff on the go. I know there's defensive stuff on here, but, And if you want to play about Witch Hunter with the Nightblade, it's really good. That was the original plan I had, was to pick Nightblade, and I just thought, no, I'd try and keep it a little bit more simple than that. There's other stuff on Nightblade that's good, but you get distracted. You think, oh yeah, Shadow Strike, and then Shadow Strike is a massive point sink. You can put loads of points into that, same as into Dreeg's Evil Eye. And then you don't end up with the other stuff maxed out. With this, all the stuff I want is going to be either maxed out or it's just a 1 pointer. So there you go. That's my reason for doing this. If it's a complete failure, well, we'll see. It's not going to be a complete failure, and I think this will get me the most damage out of Dreeg's Evil Eye that I could possibly get using the easy gear method. There's legendary sets that turn all this on its head. Don't worry about that. I'm not going to talk about, well, I might mention it, but I wasn't going to. Right. Did I put that point into Behemoth? I did, didn't I? So now I'm laughing. I've got both of those things on the go that I can put points into. Right. The other reason for coming in here was I wanted to show you. See what drops off him. That's a pet thing. Show what drops off Primordian. once you get a higher level Putrid Necklace to drop. Apologise in advance for how rough I sound. I've got a stinking cold. I'm not well. When you're not well, the best thing to do is to sit down and play Grim Dawn. I don't know how many Snith necklaces I've got. I'll have enough to do this in Ultimate when I get straight in there as well. Right, so here's... when Primordian drops a Putrid Necklace and it's level 32 or above, instead of having the points, it's like +2 to Blood of Dreeg or something, it's +1 to all Occultist skills. Now, at that point, it might work out better than that. I know that's adding a whole load of weapon damage to Dreeg's Evil Eye, and it's got +3 to Bloodburst, but we'll do some damage testing if I can get the level 32 or above item to drop. Yeah, I need to toughen up a bit. It didn't drop it. Dropped an Ancient Heart though, which is nice. Right, let's add these Slith necklaces in and maybe... oh, I didn't get the... that looked like I didn't get the one in the Burial Cave. Okay, I thought I had. But I hadn't. I can go back and get that. I haven't taken any... well, that quest automatically popped up. I haven't taken any quests in here. And I haven't done... well, like, so I haven't killed the Reanimator. I haven't done anything yet, really. Right. So that's going to be better than the one in normal, but... yeah. What I'll do, I'll farm what's his face. We'll see if I can get that thing to drop, because it will be interesting to see. Particularly if it drops with some crazy affix on it. Once you get the Foggy Bank Rift open, this is a dead simple boss to farm. Drop rate isn't great, but it's one of the least frustrating because you haven't got to walk miles. I think Sister Crimson's my favourite, because there's so much other stuff in there that's useful. Didn't drop it again, dropped another Ancient Heart though. This is actually good. The fact that it's dropping Ancient Hearts. Oh. I might have to pause this and get a drink in a minute. My throat is killing. Well, let's go. I'll do one more of these, get a drink, and then see how long I can last. I'm alright. It's just a daily struggle. It's tempting to just run up and... oh, actually, I can't really just run up and kill creep. It's tempting to go up and get creep so I can go and try and farm Sister What's-It in Elite. That'd be quite difficult because she'll scale a bit harder than these boys. What level is he? 59. Another Ancient Heart. This is great. It makes it worth it. It's like, right, I'm going to pause this a minute and get a drink. Right, that's better. Feel a little bit more alive now. Always remember to switch toggle skills on. Let's have a look at my resistance is not too bad, because the top row gets a -25 penalty in Elite. The bottom row doesn't get any penalty. That's alright. I can live with that. Come on. How many times did I have to do this in normal? I think it's about 5 times I had to kill it to get one of those Putrid Necklaces to drop. Actually, let's see if we can find Luther Graves. Might as well rescue him while I'm here, just to save that quest popping up all the time. I'll go out of the other exit and then go and try and find him. Actually, I wonder if I can... oh, I can't charge all the way up. Well, I can, just about. Need to swap that over, that's why it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Drop one, impervious. Oh, that sounds good. I think that's got pierce resistance on it. And it's +1 to all skill. Right, okay. So this is what I was talking about. The ones lower than level 32 have got +1 or, no, sorry, +2 or 3 to Blood of Dreeg. Whereas this thing hasn't got that. It's got +1 to all skills in Occultist, level 52 item. So what that means is, although that's got +3 to Blood Burst and is putting weapon damage to Dreeg's Evil Eye, which is really good, that is potentially going to be better. Now what you'll also notice there is putting crit damage and offensive ability, a flat value of +8%, onto Iskandra's Elemental Exchange, which is an Arcanist skill. So all I've got to do is put 1 point into Iskandra's to pick up those bonuses. The other thing it's doing, while Blood of Dreeg is up, it's converting 45% elemental damage to acid damage. Now, what Iskandra's does is it gives you 1 point in there and put 20 elemental damage onto your weapon attack. 45% of that, so 9, something like that, isn't it? 9 points of elemental damage will be converted to acid damage. Plus it's got energy leech and energy regen. Let's go and get Luther Graves, and I'm going to go mess about with this and do some damage testing. Right, let's find Luther and then get back to Devil's Crossing. There he is. $56, nice. Right, I'll do that level up in a sec. Actually, I'll do it now. Point in physique. Then I've finished. He's finished, that's done. I'm not putting any more points onto that now. I'm not going to put more points into that. What I'm going to do is, there's nothing there I want to grab. Actually, yeah, let's save these just in case. Because I don't want to mess around with that. I'm not going to do it yet. Sorry about that. You probably blah blah blah. Right, okay. Let's go back to DC. Now this is going to take a bit of messing around. Because once you're friendly in whatever difficulty you can get in here. What did I come in here for? See the Spirit Guy. Spirit Guy will give me some XP actually.
Greetings, child.
Yeah, right. Okay. Let's have a look. Let's turn all this stuff off. Let's leave possession up. Okay, 514155 52343. So stick that on. It drops, but
what troubles you?
I've now gone over capped on some of these. Point out of that. Right, I see only one. Okay. There's nothing else on there that's... Okay, so I took 1 point out of that. Blood Burst is 19. Those have gone up by 1. That's got them. Okay. Right, so I put 1 point in that. That immediately goes up to 3. 50 elemental damage. So that's 23 or something. Acid damage straight on there. Which is good. I want to put 1 point in that and 1 point in that. Okay. How's Dreeg's Evil Eye looking? 50k. Right, so that... Yeah. It's not a heck of a lot of difference now. Plus, what isn't showing up there, that crit damage and that offensive ability. Plus it's got 15% crit damage to Blood of Dreeg. Yeah, you can't really turn down the +1 to all skills in Occultist. I'm losing some elemental resistance, but that was a low level item anyway. I can always go and farm that thing again and see if it drops us something better, but for now, that +1 to all skills in Occultist is kind of swaying me a bit on that. because it's put possession up as well. It's put possession up, so possession's damage absorption's gone up 1%. Right, I'm just going to go and get the Reanimator just to get that shrine. Yeah, that giant's blood coming up, that's on that behemoth thing. It's a health thing. Yeah, I don't think so, mate. Yeah, and of course Blood of Dreeg stays up a lot longer now. Let's see how the Reanimator deals with this. He'd be dead. I'll just stand here, he's going to die. There you go. So Elite Reanimator was pretty much a one-shot.
I think I've got ether shards in stash, yeah.
Right. I can get my skill point off that guy as well.
I need some time to plan our...
Yeah, for the Fallen, right. Give me my skill point, mate. Skill point. And that's going in... I don't need that, I don't need that. I want to get 2 Mavens. Yeah.
Captain send you over? Impressed? Well, since I'm cleared for this.
Right. That'll do for Elite for now. Did I miss anything obvious? I'll leave it for now. I'm going to do some normal stuff. I've got to finish the Malmoth DLC. Right, I'm coughing a lot when I talk, so I have to call this one now. Thank you for watching. A little experiment in how do I fare in Elite, and I will get a bit more of this content now when my flipping throat's recovered a bit more. Cheers for watching, hope you enjoyed this one. Yeah, don't forget to send me all your sympathy in the comments. Oh, you sound terrible. Yeah, I know, I really do. Right, see you later.